Welcome back to the Shujaa Fitcast. My name is Kanyeki Kamawe. I'm the founder of Shujaa Fitness, the brand, where we are here to offer you fitness solutions on all levels. This podcast is here to give you information that makes your journey easier, where we speak to other professionals who can give you the right information, the right mindset to be able to conquer your goals and approach fitness from a sustainable point of view. For those who are watching this show or listening, make sure you check out our products via Instagram. We sell dumbbells, we also fabricate benches and a number of other things. Reach out to us via DM, see how we can help you bring fitness closer to you, closer home, figure out a way to make this journey a bit easier, because not everyone wants to go to an actual gym. Sometimes it helps to have your own equipment. So that's where Shujaa Fitness comes in. We have fitness products. We also have an ebook where we teach you the basics of fitness. So check that out too. It's called The Basics to a Better Body. So check out all our products. Make sure you're conscious about what you're doing when you're trying to reach your fitness goals. Our guest today is a return guest. His name is Miles Miller. Karibu sana, Miles.
Thank you.
He was on episode 16 of this podcast, so check out his story there. Today we are diving into a more specific topic, and that is fat loss, weight loss, energy balance, all things surrounding that. A major topic when it comes to fitness, because everyone goes to the gym to have as little fat as possible, be as light as possible, but also be muscular, all that. So Miles is going to help us conceptualize what that ought to look like. We'll have those conversations, and hopefully we'll bring out some of the things that tend to make people stumble on this journey. So karibu sana, Miles.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've said, your story, we've already had your personal story.
Yeah.
Of fitness. You're a fitness coach, personal trainer. And so this arena of fitness is where you thrive. So today we are talking about fat loss, fat loss specifically. Yeah. Maybe to kick off the conversation.
For sure.
I think we can start with what's the difference between fat loss and weight loss?
Fat loss is all about losing fats, precisely. Yeah? But weight loss is all about losing your composition. That is water mass, bone mass, or density, muscle mass, and even fat loss. Fats in general. So we call that lean body mass. Okay. So there's a difference between lean body mass and muscles. So lean body mass is just the composition of your body, skeletal, muscles, and water, and some bit of fats. So when you talk about fat loss, it's only fats. When you talk about weight loss, it's combination of everything, the composition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in your experience, out of 100 clients, how many know what they're talking about when they say, I want to lose weight, and those who don't know what they're saying?
Oh, they confuse the two terms.
Yeah.
When they say they want to lose weight, they assume that is fats. But you have to be precise. When you say you want to lose weight, do you want to lose fat or everything, including the muscles? Because I'm assuming when you want to lose fat, you want to preserve the muscles, you want to preserve the bone mass, water mass, which is very essential. And just to balance that,
ratio.
That ratio, yeah.
Why do you think it's important which one is better?
Of course, fat mass.
Fat loss.
I'm always against fat loss fat loss, not weight loss.
Why?
Because weight loss, if you say going to lose weight, you can lose weight even without going to the gym. Okay? You can lose weight by doing other things that are unnecessary. Let's say you just focus on cardio. You lose weight. You lose weight plus fat. What I've just explained. You lose it all. And so I always urge, when you want to go for that goal, your aim is fat loss. Because if you start losing weight, you start depleting your bone mass, you'll suffer from bone diseases, arthritis, osteoporosis, etc. You don't want to waste your muscles because they are very expensive to get and they take time to achieve them. So you want to preserve your muscle mass because they will fuel in these activities that you are doing for fat loss process. So you want to preserve that. You want to preserve water mass. How do you lose water mass? Through sweating, through diarrhea, through excretion. Okay? So when you're excreting through diarrhea, you lose electrolytes through water. When you're sweating, when you're sweating excessively, you're still losing electrolytes. Okay? That's why when most people are training and then they, after, or in between or after the session, they start feeling crampy because they have lost the electrolytes. Okay? That is through water. Urinating. Excessive urination. Same thing. Okay? So your aim should be fats, because fat is not part of the composition. And if it is only carrying a very small fraction. You understand?
So sweat is not our fat crying.
It is. As in, sweat is just a byproduct of an activity. Okay? Whichever activity. Yeah. It is a byproduct. It means you're moving a muscle. Okay? So if you move a muscle, the only way you can tell that you're doing something, it is through sweating. Yeah. You understand? It's not necessarily through working out. Yeah.
But I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of people think that the more I sweat, the more fat I've burnt. Because they feel like if I'm drenched in sweat, that equates to how much fat.
I've had that quite a number of times. Yeah. Like, people have been like, hey, leo nime sweat. Now I've worked out. Even when they're going on that treadmill, their aim is to sweat, not to lose weight. Yeah. Like, so if you haven't sweat, you haven't done nothing. Yeah. Which is not the case. So sweat is just to tell you that you're doing something. Okay? It's not bad to sweat, but you need to know people are different. Yeah. Like for me, when I work out, at times I don't sweat. Okay? And there are some of my clients, when they haven't sweated, they'll be like, I haven't worked out. And then I have to now explain to them why. Yeah. Okay? So it's not a bad thing, but also don't rely so much on it as a metric of effective exercise or workout. Yeah. And
so when we're talking about doing this in a sustainable way, in terms of getting the right balance of building as much muscle, losing as much fat, how do we do that? How do we achieve that balance? How do we get there in terms of the exercise we're doing? How do we eat? What do you suggest someone does to achieve that right balance?
For fat loss?
Yeah, for fat loss. Because we've said fat loss is the one we prefer. And for the reasons you've given. So then how should I, as a client, approach fat loss in the gym, out of the gym?
Okay. So there's something known as energy balance. Okay? Energy balance, it is simply energy in terms of calories, which is the foods that you're eating, versus energy out, which is now these activities that you're talking about. Activities is not necessarily just working out. What we are doing right now, we are doing an activity. As long as you're moving a muscle, that's an activity. So we have BMR. It's called basal metabolic rate. So BMR, it is let's say homeostasis, the internal environment. Yeah.
When you're at rest.
When you're at rest. Okay. There's energy that is your body is using to carry on the activities like digestion. Let's say organs. Okay. They're using energy, different sort of energy. Okay. We have, subtle movements that we normally make, like the way I'm throwing my arms, the way I'm shaking my head, the way you're nodding up and down. That is energy. You haven't planned for it, but you're still expending energy. Yeah. Okay. We have, something that you have planned for, like going to the gym for a session of an hour, lifting weights, doing cardio, whichever, still expending energy because it's an activity. Okay. We have food that we normally eat. These foods contain different energies: protein, carbs, fats, and even fiber. They all carry different energies. Okay. Once we have ingested them. So let's start. And then now we have the total daily energy expenditure. That is now the summation of all the combination of the four that I've pointed out. At the end of the day, your body will say you have expended this amount of energy. Now that is your total daily energy expenditure. Okay. So this energy, we measure it using calories. That's why you hear calories in versus calories out. So for instance, the BMR, it will carry the bigger percentage, like 70%, okay? Because your body needs to survive, okay? in whichever way, your body must survive. It will do anything within its power to survive. We have this non-exercise activity thermogenesis. The things that, these subtle movements that we normally make, okay? Because whether you're going to the gym or not, whether you are on a wheelchair, you must make these movements for survival again, okay? They carry 25% of the total daily energy expenditure. We have now the gym, things that you've planned for, or let's say exercises. They only carry 5%, imagine. 5%. Now we have the foods, thermic effect of food, okay, which carries around 15%.
Explain what thermic effect of food is.
Thermic effect of food is simply the energy that we normally expend from the food through digestion and absorption. Okay? So for instance, we have protein, carbs, and fats. So protein will carry the higher percentage in terms of thermic effect. It has a higher thermic effect. It has like 30%. 30% is a lot. 30% is a lot because if you look at carbs, it only carries anywhere between 5 to 8%. Only 5, meaning the energy that is being used to break down protein, it is so high such that your body has to tap into the fat cells, the adipose, in order for it just to break down protein. Not just to break down, but also to absorb. Okay? Now we have carbohydrates. I've said 5 to 8. Why? Because we have different types of carbs. Okay?
Complex carbs.
Complex, refined, or processed carb. They all carry different energies. So if I go for the simple carbs, like rice or refined, for simple words. Refined carbs will take 5% because they're easily broken down. That's why when you feel hungry, or if I give you rice right now, you'll feel hungry maybe in the next 2 hours. Because it has a lower thermic effect. So if you want to maximize on your carb intake, focus on, say, or rather, I don't like using the word focus, maximize on complex carbs. Why? Because complex carbs have fiber. So it means the only uniqueness when it comes to carbohydrates, that is between complex and simple. The only uniqueness of complex carbs is fiber. So fiber, it will take again 30%, just like protein, for them to be broken down. So actually, your body does not break down fiber. Your body uses fiber for your gut microbiomes for this mortality, for them to manifest. So for your gut microbiomes to feel like they're being
fed,
they need this fiber. So fiber, you're not eating fiber because you want to release soft stool. People think that I'm eating vegetables because
so I can poop.
That is just a by the way. It's just a by the way. It's one of the benefits. But the main benefit is for we call it probiotic and prebiotic. So the only way you can get it is through eating fiber. Fiber also is not only in complex carbs. It's also in fruits and vegetables. Okay? So these fibers, that's why we say when you're eating, make sure your plate has vegetables. Why? Not because you want to have a balanced diet, but it's because if your goal is, remember it's fat loss. If your goal is to lose weight, your body again, it will be forced to tap into the fat cells in order for it to break down these vegetables. Okay? So vegetables, besides these vitamins and all those micronutrients, remember its main work also is the so-called thermic effect. And we have different types of complex carbs. We have root tubers like arrowroot, yams, sweet potato, all those foods that they have fiber or roughages. It is always good if you want to lose weight to maximize on those ones more than these simple ones. Simple ones, they are good, but they'll give you cravings because they're being broken down quickly. Also, we have fats. Fats carries anywhere between 1 to 3%, imagine. Because fats now is the main source of energy. Okay? So fats, remember, excessive carbs will store themselves in like fats. So you don't need that much fats. It doesn't mean that you don't need fats, but when it comes to now this so-called process of digestion, you don't need much because you're already having these adipose tissues that will help you to supply energy to break down every food that you're eating. So that's why I always advise people also when there's a difference between, when your body does not need fats to break down food, it only needs carbohydrates, the stored carbohydrates, which will convert itself into fats for them to break down this food. So you don't need excessive fats, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't eat fats.
Yeah.
Because of
Your cells,
cholesterol, what do you call hormones? So if you don't get enough fats, enough is the word, you'll start having these hormonal imbalances. You understand? So maybe if you're a dude, you'll have low testosterone. That things will happen.
Yeah.
So if I come to now, I think I've exhausted on the thermic effect of food. On exercise activities, I said it carries only 5%. So 5%, it means if you're only focusing on the gym, you are leaving behind a lot of things that will help you to
get to your goal.
Get your goals quickly. So it means if you're only focusing on gym, you need to know you're only burning for that period of time, for 1 hour only. So if you just rely on the gym, you'll be like, how comes I'm not losing weight yet? I always go to the gym. Because you're not losing enough weight. I mean, you're not losing a lot of weight because you're not focusing on these other things like
the bulk of what it takes.
Yeah. So if you want to maximize on it, now focus on the non-exercise activities. Okay? Now that is now through fidgeting, through these sort of movements, as in be proactive throughout the day. Okay? So if you are a person who was in a sedentary job, okay? So you are a secretary, but you always go to the gym, but you're still not seeing changes. It is because still your energy balance, that energy scale hasn't balanced vizuri, because it means, yes, you're going to the gym, but after the gym, what do you normally do? So I always advise people, even when you're working, if you're in an office, just you can use like a timer. You say after every 30 minutes, I'll just stand up, just move around, you see. Or rather, I'll try to increase my non-exercise activity through walking. Say, I normally park just outside my office. So I'll try to park far from my office. I always use the lift when I'm accessing maybe 5th floor, those high floors. I'll take the staircase. I always use trolley when I'm shopping. I'll use the basket. You see? So that way you are increasing your non-exercise activity, thermogenesis. Yeah. So I always say, don't rely just on the gym. Try also to be proactive. Yeah. In terms of trying to do other things that you can do, like even manual tasks. Instead of now using a mopper when you're doing house chores, you can just use the dust. You see? If you can do things that you feel like they're tiresome, because it's all about being uncomfortable with the comfort zone. Yeah. That is how you will try now to get into this fat loss journey easily. Yeah.
I think one of the main things I'm getting from what you're saying, which is I think something that a lot of us who are into fitness are always trying to put across, is that it's a lifestyle. So you've explained all the way from when you're resting or when you're active, when you're working, when you're shopping, all these things, there's opportunities throughout the day to be able to make the journey easier. I think a lot of times the misconceptions about fitness and fitness people and the lifestyle they live is that you just like hard things. But I think when you think about it on this level of detail, like you've explained, is when you start to understand what someone who understands about fitness is trying to do when they are taking the stairs instead of the lift. It's not because you just like struggle. It's like, let me do this little now so that I don't have to do a lot elsewhere. You know, and I find that for me personally, that's something I've had to come to terms with, not like over the last year of a lot of life changes that have forced me to shift how I'm working out, is being comfortable with a little many times in the week rather than a lot a few times. And I think for me, I've seen a lot of benefit and that's specifically to do with gym. Of course, like you've said, there's ways we can do it in terms of standing up, taking a short walk, stretching when you're at work, whatnot. But I think we don't give enough credit to doing a lot or throughout the day in all sectors. We just want to think that going to the gym to sprint on the treadmill is what will get me to my goal, and like throw my hands in the air.
Actually,
for the rest.
there's something known as metabolic adaptation. Like, for instance, you are used to jogging because you believe that is the ultimate way of losing weight, yeah? So you always run, you always do cardio, you always do something that is tedious in the name of maybe sweat, okay? So what your body will do, it will try to, okay, for the first maybe 5-6 weeks, you'll lose weight progressively, okay? Because maybe you are on the negative side of the energy balance. So you are eating less than what is you're expending. So expending more and eating less. So continuous process of you doing this, it will get to a point where your body will no longer burn calories. Why? Because your body will automatically, or rather intuitively, try to bring back the energy balance, okay? Because it needs to survive. It'll be like, no, you can no longer burn more than what you're thinking you can, because I need to take care of the organs. You understand? So before you think of losing weight, first your body must satisfy the internal environment first. That's why when you get to a point whereby you have plateaued, you are no longer losing weight. It is because either these workouts, your body has become like efficient in this movement, so they have become easy. So maybe you need to increase the intensity, or rather again you need to decrease the food that you're eating. Okay?
And there's only so much intensity you can add before you burn out.
Yes. So me always say that's why it's good to rely on resistance training, because the more you build muscles, the more again you burn fat. Like, for instance, me, I can say I'm a bit leaner than the majority. If I decide right now to lose weight, it will be so easier for me to lose weight because I have the lean body mass. Like, fat ratio to muscle mass is two different things. My muscle mass is up there, my fat mass is down there. So it will be easier for me to lose it because, again, I become efficient in my movements. Okay? But for you, it will be hard because your body has already adapted to that stress that you have given it. So if it's calories, you're only eating, say, 2,000. You decided to be on a deficit of maybe 500. So you're eating 1,500. So that 1,500, don't think you can eat it for life. It will just, you'll eat it for a very short period of time. So from there, you need to ask yourself, what can I do in order for me to again lose this number of pounds? So the best thing to do is don't go for drastic measures. Don't be like, I want to lose 10 kgs. So you just lower your calories drastically, start engaging into strenuous activities because you are yearning for this body, or rather you want to lose this weight drastically. So instead do this, try to have, we call it mini cuts. Yeah, mini cut, it means you're trying to drop maybe minus 100 calories weekly instead of 500 calories at a go. Say I'm on 2,000. So I need to be on 1,900. I start with 1,900 and then let your body adapt to that 1,900 for like maybe say 2 weeks. After that again, you go to 1,800. Like that. So until it will get to a point whereby you be plateau. Plateau is a must.
It always happens.
It will always happen. So from there you can take a break. Yeah. Just do everything within your powers to control this balance, but don't be frustrated. Don't be like, maybe again try to be on a lower deficit, because the more you're decreasing the deficit, the more you're decreasing the calories, again, the more you're
your
trying
body's
to
adapting to.
No. What will happen again? You are disrupting your hormones, because your hormones are the ones responsible for this, everything that you're doing. Okay. So again, you might start suffering from hormonal imbalance. And things will just happen revolving around hormones. So you don't want to be, to go to that point. So instead, try to focus on positive ways of getting rid of this fats. Through me, I always prefer through resistance training, because I've just said cardio, it will reach a point, you'll just stagnate. So from there, what will you do? So you cannot go again below that calories. You'll have to think of outside the box. And the outside the box is what I've just said.
Yeah.
Go for resistance training. You understand? There's another person who'll be like, how come I haven't lost weight yet? I've done everything. So you haven't lost weight because maybe you stop doing these subtle movements that you have said. You stop maybe taking the lift. You stop taking the 10K steps a day. You stop doing all those subtle movements, that the non-exercise activities. You maybe focus only on the gym, and then you became dormant on this other side. So again, you just need to increase your energy expenditure. Okay? Another way of killing this beast is through eating excessive protein instead. Or not excessive, but enough. Because we have seen protein has a high thermic effect. So instead of going for carbs anytime you're hungry, try to fetch for protein. You understand? So I'm feeling hungry. First thing that you should click in your head is protein instead of carbs. Because carbs, like always, they are the fast digesting macros. Yeah. Then followed by, like, there's that hierarchy, but carbs will always be the first because digestion of carbs starts from the mouth. So don't go for that. Go for protein. Eat fiber. Yeah. So make sure when you're serving your food, your plate, it should have a lot of protein, a lot of fiber, a lot of essential fats, and then less of carbs. But don't do away with anything. Don't say I'll stop eating carbs, because you need carbs for energy.
Because those are the extremes again.
Yeah, don't go for extreme measures. If you go for extreme measures, it will not be sustainable. Yeah. So I think also that part, most people normally fail to pay attention. Yeah. They focus on exercise, and then when it comes to what things they're putting on in their mouth, is now where you like distract this whole process. Yeah. So when you're hungry, go for protein. Make sure you eat enough fiber. Make sure you eat complex carbs, and just make sure you're balancing between resistance training and cardio.
Yeah. How should one approach that? Now, when you talk about resistance training, would you prescribe a specific amount or number of days, or how should someone approach when, let's say, they've been doing it all wrong and they come to you and they need help in that direction? Where do they begin?
I can say, start off with, first I'll have to look at how your program looks like. Let's say, let me assume you're doing 5 times in a week. So in this 5 times in a week, how hard are you going on your training? If you're going so hard, that one is, again, it could be a problem, because maybe you're not giving your body enough time to recover. So maybe you need to scale down this workout. It could be sets, it could be volume, it could be frequency. You need just to try to scale down everything. And then you can even start by scaling down maybe 1 set in everything. Scale down like 1 day, say I'll do 4. Scale down time. If you're doing 2 hours, you say I'll do 1 hour, 30 minutes. Try to drop down everything necessary. And then you work with that for like even 6 weeks. You see how your body will respond. So if you notice, I'm not saying that you should go for 3 days. You should go for 4 days. You can work out even 7 times a week, as long as you're not subjecting your body to extreme measures. You understand? So how do you know that you're overtraining? It is if you're constantly, after every session you're feeling you can call full-blown soreness. It means you're overworking. If you're feeling cramps after your session, besides saying you lost electrolytes, it's also the volume was so much and the intensity was up there. Okay, so you need maybe to have a quality session over quantity. It also meant you did a lot during that session. For your body to get to that point of feeling crampy, it means you overdid it. So in short, recovery is very vital when you're thinking about building muscle. So people always focus on just going hard,
activity,
but they forget that recovery is also part of this process. So recovery, it means also your sleep has to be on point. Maybe you're doing everything correctly, but your sleep is deprived. Okay. So when we talking about 7 hours, 8 hours of sleep, I always say it should be uninterrupted hours of sleep. You shouldn't be waking up in the middle of the night. Yeah. Then in the morning you said you have slept for 8 hours. No, you haven't slept for 8 hours. You have slept in intervals. Okay. So also you need to check on that because it means you're not getting enough sleep. And if you're not getting enough sleep at night, you need to get naps during the day. Okay. Another thing, maybe it could be your hydration is poor. Okay. So you're not getting enough water. So if you're not taking enough water, maybe you're relying on this other liquid. It could be tea. You love caffeine. So if you take caffeine, again, it will affect your sleep. If you rely on caffeine, maybe you'll just be going hard, but you're not, again, you're misusing caffeine because I always see people taking 5 cups of coffee, 3 cups of coffee. Pre-workout. You see? You're misusing it. So again, you need to scale down that. Because me always feel like recovery is more essential more than even going hard on your workout.
It's the most ignored thing for sure.
Yeah. Because even, I told you about roids, roids, I feel like the primary benefit of roids is recovery. Yeah, it helps you to recover faster. So if you are natural and you're not recovering well, then you'll just be mark timing. Another thing I can say is maybe don't just focus on going to the gym if you're thinking of losing weight. Focus on just non-activity. I think that is the ultimate way of losing weight. Let me give you an example. Take these 2 occupations. You have a secretary and you have a teacher who is teaching in a classroom. So a teacher, if you look at a teacher, he or she has to move from one class to the other for the rest of the day. And not just moving, she has to stand on the blackboard and write down notes and dictate and do all that. Okay? So, and the secretary on the other side, she's always on her seat. Maybe the only time she'll stand from that seat is when she's visiting the washroom or she's going to have a lunch. She's going for lunch. So it also means if your occupation is like a teacher, you can't be like, but I'm always active. I don't need to go to the gym. You're going to the gym not because you want to build muscles. That could be the case, but you're going to the gym to improve on your lifestyle. Okay? Because let me assume we have a chef. Chef, they're always on their feet and they're bending like this because they're always chopping on that board. So continuous process of them bending like this, they may develop some deformity like kyphosis. Okay? So they'll go to the gym to improve on their posture. Yeah. You understand? But on their non-exercise activities, they're good. They're doing good. They're burning a lot of calories. But they also need to check on their general wellness. So you're going to the gym purposely. I always feel like you're going to the gym purposely to improve on that. Yeah.
The repetitive strain injuries that happened because of just that consistent way of working is another thing that, because you're right, I think when you think about the teacher example, they're doing a lot, but I think if you're right-handed, you're always writing on the board with your right hand.
So one arm will be dominant over the other. So you need to activate on even this other side. Yeah, you're very right.
Even if you're standing all day, you're burning.
You
might be standing
on one side more than. That's why I say you're going to correct on your posture. Even these people are working on the construction sites. It's very hard for them to put on weight, but that doesn't mean like that is enough. Like you shouldn't go to the gym. You're going to the gym to improve on posture and just general wellness besides just building muscles. Because there are some people who doesn't want to look like Ronnie, but that does not mean if you go to the gym, because it's a myth. If a person who has never stepped in the gym, you meet that person on the road, you'll be like, hey, me, I don't want to look like you. So you'll be like, okay, you can still, you can still go to the gym and not look like me. Okay. So going to the gym is not just because you want to get muscles. That is good. Yeah. But go to the gym for your own wellness.
Yeah. Because everyone has something something that can be corrected by intentional use of the gym.
For sure.
Yeah. Interesting. So as far as energy balance and fat loss, I think we've covered the main things. Is there anything else you think we should keep an eye on in that journey? We've talked about the diet, we've talked about the rest activity, we've talked about the active activity, we've talked about thermic effect of food. What are some hydration? How important is hydration? Why is because we all somehow, whether we know the reason or not, I think we all can agree that hydration is important. But when talking about fat loss specifically, why or how does it interact with fat loss to help us on that journey? How does hydration help the fat loss journey?
You see, I spoke about you can lose your body composition through excretion. Okay? So you'll find out when you're working out throughout the day, just normal day-to-day activities, you're always dehydrated. They get a point whereby you're dehydrated. And you need to know that muscles are also made up of water.
Mostly water, actually.
Mostly water. So if you dehydrate, and I've seen this gimmick, when people, they don't know, maybe they have dehydrated, but I've seen it in women, when they feel like their lips is like dry, they pull out the lip gloss or whatever, and then they apply. That one alone, you see, our body normally communicates to us in most cases. It means when you are sucking your lips, you are dehydrated. So it means you need to rehydrate because you have depleted water in your system. So instead of going for that Vaseline, just take like a glass of water instead. When you're working out, you might maybe feel like headache. You'll go for the aspirin. And maybe, because this journey is tough, maybe you don't need aspirin, you just need a glass of water. Because again, your body, especially your brain and your liver, they take away a lot of water when they are just doing the cognitive function. When you're asleep, your brain takes away a lot of energy, a lot of water.
That's why you wake up thirsty.
Yeah, that's why you wake up thirsty. So you will wake up thirsty. If you want actually to replenish water, you need to take some salty water. Put it in your water and then you drink. Not because you want to clear your gut, because some people normally, or to clear your mouth. That is again, by the way. It is because you want to rehydrate your brain, your kidneys. Okay? That's why you're going to the toilet. Because when you're asleep, that is when the body, the internal environment is in work. Okay? So your liver takes away a lot of energy. You know, liver it's like a radiator. So it needs water. Because of trying to get rid of any toxic substance that you may ingest.
The salty water, because I'm seeing a growing conversation around that. I don't think it's something that I didn't hear of it very often in the past. I think maybe in the last years when I've really had a lot of people talk about it. When you're saying salty water, how much salt are we adding to this water? What's the ratio? And then is it any salt, table salt, sea salt?
Okay.
You know?
I'll go for any salt, but if you are this into wellness, you can go for the Himalayas, the sea salt. Just put it in your water and drink. Just one glass. Again, to replace the electrolytes. Because you see, you're urinating, you're sweating. All that is salt. So you need to replace it. And that's why you're getting cramps, because maybe you're not getting enough electrolytes. Okay.
Is it a pinch of salt?
Just a pinch. Okay. Just kidogo, like a pinch. I prefer a pinch because again, it shouldn't be too salty. Just be like medium salty. Something that you can tolerate. Okay. Then you do that every morning. Make it like a ritual. First thing when you wake up, take a glass of water, stir it with some pinch of salt, and take it. Maybe another thing about water is when you're using something like creatine. Creatine is good because it will force you again to take enough water.
Yeah.
So you'll hear people be like, if you take creatine, you look like you're watery. They always say that your muscles are
get puffy or
which is not a bad thing. I don't think I don't understand why people normally quote it like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
I think maybe because, I always have this thing I always say where bodybuilding has kind of informed a lot of how people think about fitness, even people who are not bodybuilders. So I think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in bodybuilding, they don't want that. They want as little water in the muscle as possible on show day. So you want to dehydrate so that you look hard.
But you see, that one is just for
and it's an extreme case.
Yeah. And it's an extreme case.
Yeah. But you see, the layman has listened to Ronnie Coleman and Arnold's videos and motivational things. So they apply those things to their regular everyday. I'm an accountant, but I'm thinking about how dry my bicep is.
And that's why people are always afraid of taking creatine.
Yeah.
You see, creatine is not just for people who are going to the gym.
Yeah.
Creatine is for everyone, unless you're an expectant mother. But I'm speaking just as general talk, yeah? You must just have creatine because you need to, like I always say, it's like you're nourishing your muscles. Okay? You're putting your muscles under the best environment. Okay? Because again, it will force you, creatine, the beauty behind creatine, it will force you to take enough water, sufficient water. So if you withdraw from creatine, you'll notice even your water intake has gone down. But if you are always disciplined in consuming creatine, not just after it has finished and then you take like 5 months again, say like, let me purchase, you're religious in taking creatine. You'll notice you don't suffer from headache. Okay? You'll notice you're recovering well. You'll notice you're not dehydrated all the time.
Yeah.
Because creatine, it will just force you to take water. Another thing, if you take hard foods like wheat product, if you observe, in most cases, you feel thirsty. Especially at night. Just say you took chapati in the evening, then you slept. You wake up in the middle of night feeling thirsty. Why? Because chapos are very hard in your gut, yet there's like they siphon water from your body. And if you ignore that again, you do what instead? Take Vaseline and apply. You'll end up having an itchy anus. That one I've seen. Okay. Yeah, because wheat is very hard on your gut. Okay? And then you see gut is from here all the way down.
Yeah.
So what is happening? You're actually killing your gut microbiome.
The whole system.
Yeah,
it's like you're drying out.
Yeah, it's like you're scrapping. Okay? So you're eating wheat with dondo maybe, and you're not taking veggies. That is again a red flag. Because what you're doing, you are destroying your bacteria. So water again will come in place because it will help you to like rehydrate the gut. The vegetables will help you to give life again to the new.
The fiber feeds
we call it flora, microflora for the gut. Or fermented foods like fermented milk. So fermented milk is, let's say, probiotic, vegetables and fiber.
So you mean like mala, yeah?
Mala.
Yeah.
Mala is very, very good. Vegetables and fruit are more prebiotic. They're more of the same thing. It's just that one you're acquiring them from foods, the other one is more of a supplement. Okay? So water will again play that role of trying to rehydrate your system. So water is very, very crucial when it comes to fat loss. Yeah, because the whole process is it's like you're beginning a new chapter of trying to get to that body you're desiring to achieve. And remember, you have even these people who are diabetic. So people who are diabetic be like, I'm diabetic because maybe it's in our genes. Okay, that's the case. But remember, diabetes came in recently. Because if you look at your album, your grandma and your greatest grandma, they never suffered from diabetic. So it's a recent phenomenon. Is it reversible? Yes, it is reversible, especially the type 2 diabetic because it is just from poor eating habits, poor lifestyle. So if you continuously do this, you'll definitely expose your body to diabetes. So it means you have a lot of adipose tissue. That's why you're exceptional. That's why you're fat. So how do you go about diabetes? It's number one, try to first do what we have said about food. Try to focus on the right food. Try to be very, we say mindful, and not just mindful, and also, what do you call it?
Intentional?
Not intentional. Accountable for whatever thing you're putting in your mouth. Because you see, most people who are diabetic, before they got this so-called diabetes, they were very not accountable for whatever thing they're putting in their mouth. Because you see, nowadays people are just eating for no apparent reason. You could be invited for a party, just go and eat. You could be watching Netflix, you just eat. You could just be maybe suffering from insomnia, so you are awake, go to the kitchen, eat. So we call it eating disorders. People have different eating disorders. So again, you need to know, you have to be accountable for whatever thing you're putting in your mouth. So you'll be like, yesterday I went for a party, I ate A, B, and C. So how will it affect my journey? So you don't just assume. Be like, okay, the first 5 days of the week, I'm always religious. I'm eating the right foods. I'm constantly taking enough water, A, B, and C. I'm going to the gym. Good. But when it comes to the weekend, now when the weekend approach, that's where you draw the borderline. Be like, hey, I'm going for party. Again, go above that energy balance. So when you go above the energy balance, these calories will not just disappear into the thin air. After, if this is a habit, it's a lifestyle again. After 6 weeks, 5 weeks, you'll notice that you're not losing weight. And you'll be like, but I'm always cautious in even my portions and all that. But you have forgotten that over the weekend, you always say, I always have small bites. These small bites are the ones that are dragging you behind because you assume you're not eating a lot of calories.
Another thing with weekends, because we're Kenyans, is the alcohol side of it. And alcohol is empty calories.
And actually when you take alcohol, your body, your liver, will first deal with the alcohol before the food that you have eaten. So even if I ate a very healthy food or meal, and then took like a glass of beer, your body first will have to take care of the beer before it takes care of the. So you see, you are just inviting, or rather I can say you're misusing your insulin, because the insulin maybe was meant to break down the actual food that you have eaten. But now it's focusing on the alcohol. So this food, since it's in excess and the insulin is being released in impulse, you realize this food has to be stored as fat for future use.
And nobody is having one glass of beer if you're going out to drink.
So you see, maybe even you're not getting fat from taking beer because it's empty calories. So you're getting fat from the foods that you ate, which they store themselves as fat, because your body was like, maybe we don't need to digest this. Let's first digest. Let's first digest the beer.
But and then also I thought of another layer to that. If you're doing hard liquor, you're chasing it with soda, juice, whatnot. So it just keeps compounding.
You're compounding the effect, and then later on you'll be like, how did I get this beer? And they call it belly beer. Beer. I don't think it's a beer belly. I think it's just
your
belly.
lifestyle.
You got it from the foods that you eat. You understand? So people know. You see, the beauty behind fat loss is that people know why they are fat. They even know, like, I've got a fat from habit A, B, and C. But they're just afraid of facing those bad habits. So instead, they assume, like, there's one day they'll wake up
and
just
get right back on track.
It is again, it's a process the way you started drinking, slowly by slowly, until you go to this chronic drunkard. Same applies. If you want to now drift from this side to this side, process is still the same. You have to just suffer the consequences of your choices.
If it took you, if you're 30 years old and for 20 years you've been eating the way you've been eating, and you got to that point at 30, think about how long it'll take now to reverse.
It might take
effects.
Twice.
Because
twice the effort. Because you see, getting fat is very easy. Like they say, eating 1,000 calories is quite easy.
Very easy, yeah.
But burning 1,000 calories,
Yeah.
it's another thing.
You can't even work out and hit 1,000.
Can,
Nobody hits 1,000
and
calories.
it's not even advisable.
Yeah.
Some people can, yes, but for how can you sustain that?
No, it's not sustainable.
Because it will get to a point whereby your body will just communicate to you, be like, maybe you'll start feeling headache.
Yeah.
There's a way you feel some type of way
There'll
in the
be an
process.
effect, yeah.
Yeah. So people who are in this, they're like, we call it, they're so into weight loss. They are desperate in losing weight. They're always going for extreme measures. And I'm like, whatever you're doing is you still don't help. They'll go for even smoothies. You see? They will go for liposuction. They'll go for tummy trimming, especially women, because I think they are very gullible.
Yeah.
So, and because they don't want to face the beast, they don't want to use the same process which everyone else used.
Yeah.
They are going for the shortest cut. So question is, will you sustain this process? That has always been the question. Because if you go for liposuction, remember, you're just getting rid of this.
Just the
belly
effect.
fat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sindio?
Yeah.
But what about your heart?
Yeah.
What about your arteries? What about your veins? What about your vessels?
Yeah, because your fat doesn't go to one. I mean,
your
fat
you
has
cannot
been
say
distributed.
every fat.
Yeah.
It has just come and packed itself.
You've taken it out of where you wanted it to come out. But your body knows it distributed it to your toes.
Exactly.
Your cheeks.
So what about your thighs?
Yeah.
Because they're still fatty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your glutes, your breast.
It's everywhere.
It is all over, you see. So that is one thing. Maybe these doctors don't normally tell them when they are doing liposuction. They have to consider that factor of the heart first. Yeah. That's why we do cardio for the heart. So you'll do that. But if you haven't cured the habits, if you haven't gotten back to the roots of what led you to this fat gain, you'll just go back to that same hole.
I think about also those people who get the, what do you call it, when they reduce your stomach size?
Tummy trimming.
Is that tummy trimming?
Yeah.
They literally reduce the size of your stomach.
It's liposuction.
Like, that's lipo.
Yeah.
I thought lipo is just the fat. Because there's one
where it is fat, but you are saying where the fat should be removed.
Yeah, but this one, they make your actual stomach, where the food goes, they make it smaller.
Oh, it's called gastric
bypass.
Yeah, gastric something,
yeah. There's the balloon, which is an actual balloon.
Bypass,
and then there's bypass, I think.
Yeah.
So
that one is so, I've seen it. That one is very, very dangerous because, you see, your body is not getting enough nutrients. That's like a red flag. Cause the balloon, it has like, if your stomach is like this, it has been divided now into two. So your stomach can only handle this much instead of this much.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes, that is good. But you're not getting enough macros.
Yeah.
You get? Yeah. You're not getting enough micros. Because you cannot, even this water is so much for you. Like you cannot handle this much.
Yeah.
Now you see, you're not getting enough water, which we said is very important. You're not getting enough protein, which we said it's very, very important. You're not getting enough fats, which again we said it's very important. So those people who are doing these procedures, if you look at them, they're always very weak. They cannot even handle an empty bar. Empty bar, it's a struggle for them because they're not, it's like they are like
malnourished.
On a fast.
Yeah.
They're
malnourished.
They're malnourished.
Like a starving child.
They're like starving.
Yeah.
That's true. They're starving big time. So you can imagine doing that for like six weeks or so. And then you see, after you have withdrawn from that procedure, so they have gotten back your stomach.
Now
you will be craving for everything.
Yeah.
So I see,
because you've been thinking about how you used to eat the whole time. Now you're like, when I get my chance,
because you see, they normally do that for a very short period of time. Let's say they're going for a shoot. You see, they're going for summer, so they all want to have this bikini body. So they're going for these drastic measures.
Yeah.
So they know just after summer, hey, I'm gonna chafua that table. So they go back to square one. Yeah. And if you ask them how much money they spend on those procedures, it's a lot.
It's more than you'd have needed for what the actual process takes.
Yeah. So what does that tell you? People are afraid of facing the beast.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So they're trying to seek for the shortest cut possible. Just to get rid of this.
You know, on this note, there's one ad I saw yesterday. And it's the one ad I've ever left a comment. I never leave comments on ads.
An ad.
Yeah, an ad on Instagram. And this is becoming a thing. I can't believe people actually fall for it. But it's the lotions for fat loss. I mean, like, I know we're lazy. I understand. We're humans. We want a shortcut.
With the rolling pin.
Watch even that one. This one's just a lotion. Apply this lotion here, you lose weight. I'm just like,
and somebody will fall for that, imagine.
If you saw the other comments, people are like, where do I order? This is amazing.
And if you look at the comment section, most of them are women.
It was a woman who was doing the ad. You know, she had makeup. She looked beautiful. Makeup, hair. She was in like a fancy hotel. She was faking an American accent, which was really cringy, but it worked for whatever she was doing. You know, she's selling that baby girl lifestyle. And then it's a lotion for you know, it's eye-catching because you're like, oh, beautiful lady, nice hotel. I wonder what she's selling. Let's start talking about an ointment for weight loss. I was like, I know we've gone low as society, but I feel like this is the lowest. This is, I mean, you don't need to be a scientist, but
they're falling for it.
Yeah, if you're selling, someone's buying, you know? So yeah, it's sad how far it's gone. Even the rolling pin one I've seen before, and that's just ridiculous. Like, literally, you're rolling even massage.
I even saw that lady who is a musician.
Yeah.
What's her name? Mukami. Is it Mukami? No, she's an artist. She's a Kenyan artist. She was selling that gimmick too. For green tea. You saw it?
Oh, no, I haven't
seen it. She sold green tea and be like, I took this green tea for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, this was my before, this is my after. I'm urging every lady out there who want to look like this, you should come. Hit my DM, place your orders.
And because she's an artist.
And, and you see, if you go back to the times, she was going to the gym. You see? When she gained all that weight. She went to the gym, she did everything correctly, and she lost everything. Then
they approached
her. Say, we want you to sell us this product. So the funniest thing is, on the comment section is where now you'll die out of laughter. People are ordering, placing orders after orders. Like, where can I get
it? And shortcuts are just where the money is, honestly. Cause, I mean, even for guys, the bodybuilding industry, essentially, that's
Nadia. She's called Nadia Mukami.
Oh, Nadia Mukami. I think I know, But I didn't see the ad. But I mean, even for guys,
there's artificial aesthetics.
Yeah. I mean, also a bodybuilder has spent their whole life, training, learning their physique, all the layers you've just discussed. And they do steroids, but then now they sell you a protein shake.
Exactly.
And now you're convinced
and
that
then
it's
you're
the protein
falling
shake
for it.
Yeah, it's a whole, anyway, it's an industry.
It's an industry.
So that's any final thoughts on weight loss that you would like to leave us with?
Yeah. I'd like to say this, anytime you're thinking of losing weight, anytime you're feeling hungry, I've seen this quite a number of times. Think about protein. People treat their protein intake casually, if you look closely. Yeah? Go for the animal-based products, if it's possible. Or rather we say, go for the quality products in terms of protein. Take enough protein. We said your body weight times 0.8 to at least 1.8 there. So you do that multiplication, and then that will be your total daily intake for protein.
In grams.
Yeah. So don't eat protein only in one meal. Don't be like, I only ate protein in breakfast. So lunch, dinner, I can skip protein. You can never afford to skip protein because protein can never store itself as fat. Yes, it can, but it is a very, very hard phenomenon for it to happen. Like, it is very easier for you to bail out from protein, but it's hard for you to bail out from carbs. Yeah. If you look at your shelves.
Yeah. There's carbs everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. So try to now change that narrative of when you're feeling hungry, you're going for juice, a glass of juice. That is still carbs. Feeling hungry, you're going for mandazi. Feeling hungry, whichever sort of carbs. I'm not saying carbs is bad, but try to maximize on your protein intake. Why? Because of the thermic effect. Try to get enough vegetables in your plate because of the same thing. Not because of the vitamins, which is good, but because of the thermic effect. Try to take kina probiotic because of your gut health. How? Take just a mala. twice in a week maybe. Make sure you're getting your mala right, or yogurt. Okay? Try not to indulge in snacking. This so-called snacking, try to get rid of it. Okay? Try to focus on your major meals. How do you focus on your major meals? By now eating the complex carbs. Because any person who snacks is this person who likes eating simple carbs. They get digested quickly. After a short period of time, they're feeling hungry. And then they go for the wrong choices of food. Okay? Try to get enough water throughout the course of the day. And taking enough water, it doesn't mean like after you've woken up, you'll be like, I've taken 2 liters of water. Why are you taking 2 liters of water? Because what will happen next, you'll just be visiting the washroom. Visiting the washroom again, is your body talking to you a bit like, you have taken enough? Now just chill a minute before you take another glass. So take water when necessary. Anytime you're feeling thirsty, don't go for the lip balm. Anytime you're sucking your lips, it's your body that's telling you need to take water. Okay? Make sure you're maximizing on the sunlight, because that one is again a common problem. These people working in the offices, they hardly go outside and bask. The same people who sleep late at night, the same people who have these big bellies, the same people are suffering from all these lifestyle diseases. Why? Because maybe they're not getting enough vitamin D, they're not getting enough melatonin, they're not getting enough sleep. And they just rely on the gym, which is not a bad thing. Yeah. But we have seen gym is only 5%.
5%, yeah.
And lastly, I can say maybe just do the right thing. And if you don't know, ask. Okay? Yeah, and just be patient. Don't go for these gimmicks. Gimmicks are just for the money. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
There's no lotion that we can sell you that will give you the real result. So, like we've discussed, hopefully some of the things Miles has pointed out will resonate. It's a lot, and even you, I'm sure you can attest that it is a lot. But I think starting is the key.
Is the key.
Yeah, and all these things come with time. It's not a one time.
Don't even chase for perfection.
Yeah.
Just chase for the progress.
Yeah.
Consistency is the key.
Yeah.
Show up every day.
Yeah.
And that's how you build on these good habits.
100%. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Shujaa Fitcast. Let us know in the comments if there's anything you need clarification on. Reach out to Miles Miller 254 on social media. Check him out on YouTube, Instagram. He has a lot of information, TikTok as well, where he shares a lot of these things on a day-to-day basis. Comment, subscribe. Let us know what you'd like to hear us discuss in the next episode. Until next time, check out Shujaa Fitness products on our Instagram, the link, or even DM us directly. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to the Shujaa Fitcast. For more information and business inquiries, email us at shujaafitnesswarrior@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at Shujaa_fitness on Instagram, at Shujaa Fitness on Facebook and TikTok, and subscribe to our channel at Shujaa Fitness on YouTube. For audio versions of this podcast, check us out on Spotify, Boomplay, and Apple Podcasts. This show was recorded and produced at the Represented Studio in Nairobi, Kenya. Special thanks to Lucid for the background music.